Hey guys, it's Michelle with Women Who Wow, the premier online platform for the seriously driven women entrepreneur, where these women entrepreneurs go for coaching and mentoring that makes a difference in the real world of their business. And I am so excited to be here with you guys, and I'm excited to talk with you about the 5 things that wild success will absolutely require of you in your business. And I just wanted to come and just have a quick chat with you all. I actually just got back from a quick little mini vacation. It was so amazing and had an amazing time, and also a really refreshing time. And whenever I go away on a vacation, whether I'm alone or with my husband or with my entire family, I always come back really refreshed and passionate, because I always take some time to just get away from it all. And I always am in a place without Wi-Fi, which is a really good thing for me. And I just get to connect with what I already know, right? What I already know about myself and about success and about marketing and about business and all of these things, without outside interference. And so I come back from these trips pretty on fire, and I really look forward to sharing that with you guys. I do want to share this on my personal page, just because sometimes people don't see it without it being shared. So I'm going to do that. In the meantime, I would love for you to tell me who you are if you're watching this live, who you are, where you're from, and maybe even something going on in your business. So if you guys can comment on that, I will go ahead and quickly share this so that we can get all of our people on. But I would really love to hear from you and what you're up to. All right, so I found it. Get to share this over to my page. All right. So let's talk for a little minute about what wild success is going to require from you as a woman entrepreneur. The first thing it's never, ever, ever going to require is for you to connect the dots, follow the leader. It's never going to require you to build your business in a way that's miserable for you and that goes against how you were made and created. Let me tell you something. Anybody that you are learning from, right? Anybody that you admire as an entrepreneur that has the level of success that you want, we did not get here by following somebody else's system and doing it exactly the way they did and using the words that they did. And we didn't get there doing that. Everybody that you look up to, that you pay for advice, that you go to their events, every single one of them is somebody who is doing it their own way. They're honoring themselves as part of their own success system, right? And so that's why people who have achieved wild success, they are selling their system, but they're not saying hey, follow Joe Blow's system. It rocks. I did it exactly the way they said they do it, and now I'm here. That's not the way it happens, right? So you do want to make sure that you are honoring yourself as part of your own success system, right? So Brenda is from Bumpus, Virginia. She has some speaking upcoming, course and membership set for May, 3 art openings, media in Atlanta, spring decluttering. She's got a lot going on, so I'm super pumped about that. Let's get over to the first thing that wild success is going to require of you, right? The first thing is belief. Right? A lot of people believe that this wild success, what I mean by wild success is not making ends meet, although that is a great first step. A lot of people don't even believe that their business can support them, right? So forget wild success, right? They haven't yet bet on the idea that their business can actually support them. So, when I say wild success, I'm thinking generational wealth. I'm thinking we are talking to Megan. I'm in mode. Oh, there you are. Okay, so we met. So I knew you were local. Yeah, so I'm talking about wild success, the success that changes the game for you. The success that where you don't have to ask, like, can I afford this tuition, or can I afford this car, or can I afford XYZ, right? I'm talking wild success. And the first thing it's going to require is a belief, one, that it's possible, and two, that it's possible for you. I actually meet a lot of women entrepreneurs who are actually not even at the level of belief that they are willing to think the business can replace their salary, regardless of how comparatively small their salary is, right? I mean, it's if you are saying that your goals are huge and yet you will not quit your job, you will not bet on yourself, like, belief is critical for you, right? So the thing is like the first thing is belief, not only that it's possible for somebody somewhere, but that it's possible for you right now. That is literally one of the most critical things. And I find a lot of women who won't make that leap with me. They will not say, you know what, Michelle, you're right, I'm putting in my notice. Right? Now, these women typically are not Women Who Wow members, right? Because Women Who Wow members are all in, right? They're all in. They are not one of the mediocre masses. And so, belief, though, is huge. Belief that it's possible, and that it's possible for you right now. And that is absolutely critical. If you don't believe that you can achieve this success, if you are not actively working on your vision, if you're not actively looking for examples of other people who are not superhuman, because none of us are, if you're not actively looking for other people who are succeeding at the level that you desire to succeed at, then your belief will not build. Belief is not something that is either ours or not ours. Belief is not something that, we have or we don't have. It's something that we should be building if we want to have the life that we want, right? Belief is critical, and we can build it very, very deliberately. If you want any help with building your own belief, like, message me, m.me/Women Who Wow. All right, the second thing that you need to create wild success, right? You create it brick by brick, you build it the same way you build a house, is action. Your action, if you are creating wild success, is going to be different than the mediocre masses. You're not going to be able to do sort of average, small, inconsistent action things and then expect all of a sudden the things one day they add up and you've done it long enough and now you get a pay raise. That's not the way the entrepreneurial world works, literally, right? So we've got to get that out of our minds. The action that wild success will require from us is consistent, simultaneous action on many fronts, right? Our hustle, if we believe in the wild success that we are wanting to create and believing we can create, our action will look different than the person who's trying it out or keeping the job or, figuring it out, going to give it a few more months or let me see, right? No. Our action will look different. Your success will require action from you. It doesn't have to be miserable action. This video right now, the most miserable part was putting on a little bit of makeup for me. Right? I haven't run yet, and so I'm going to have to take it off and, whatever, right? But the thing is, it's like it will require action from you. I happen to love everything that I do for my business. But that didn't just happen. I built my business around a marketing engine that was fueled by what I love to do, which is write. Right? I love to write. And so I built my business to survive, to go far on the fuel of me writing. We're all building our businesses around ourselves, or we should be. Going back to my first point, it's not about following my system. It's not about following their system or one system being right and one system being wrong. It's about honoring yourself as part of the process so that when you take massive action on multiple fronts, when you're doing that kind of work, guys, it doesn't feel like it's a drudgery, right? What I do to actually market and sell my business, it feels like just full expression, right? I used to joke, and I probably should not joke about this because I know it's in poor taste, but, and frankly, when I was a kid, I'm 43 years old now. So when I was a kid, there were nobody talked about cutters, right? Like people who cut themselves. But I'd say sometimes some girls cut, I write. It's like a full release for me. And that is what builds my business. And so belief is the first one. Action is the second one. Action that's consistent and massive, but that also allows you to feel fully expressed, guys. But I'm going to move on from that. Bottom line is, I do not want anybody stuck in a belief system that they can kind of manifest their dream while sitting on the couch and not doing their part. It's going to take action. It's going to take hustle. And if you don't like that word, that's okay. It's aligned hustle, right? It doesn't have to feel bad or forced or pushed. It certainly doesn't in my life. I'm going to move on. The third thing that wild success will require of women entrepreneurs is commitment. Commitment to stay the course. The commitment to stare your circumstances in the face without flinching, to stare your naysayers in the eye without flinching. It is the commitment to refuse to be distracted. Wild success requires you to stay longer than you planned on staying. That's what it's going to require of you, right? So if you are constantly going in your little phone booth and changing brands and changing ideas and coming out like, you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to get the momentum that you need to have wild success. You've got to be committed. You've got to have a steel spine, right? You've got to be willing to stare the world in the face and say, I'm not moving. You have to move, right? You got to be willing to look at the path in front of you and say, I'm not deviating. I don't care what happens, right? I'm not deviating. Let the world move around me. So belief that it's possible and possible for you. Action that is different from the mediocre masses, and commitment to stay the course. These are three of the things that wild success will require of you. As I'm talking about this, I'd love to know if you feel like you have these or where you might need the most work, because this is daily work I do on myself, right? Like, none of us are just born with all of these things. I build them every single day. The fourth thing that you're going to need to create wild success as an entrepreneur is solid principles of marketing and selling. Solid principles of marketing and selling. Now, if you have bought a bill of goods, if you bought the business school, if you bought the master's, the MBA, like taught by academics who have never owned a business, as an aside, some things that make you go, right? These people who are, teaching MBA classes have never owned a business, right? But whatever. You're going to need solid principles of marketing and sales. And here's where you know if they're solid. A principle is something that works regardless of whether it is applied. One principle I just wrote to my Mission 2020 members about was the principle of measurement, right? If you want to improve something, whether that is the number of date nights you have, or your blood pressure, or your weight, or your cash coming in, or your cash being saved, or your debt going down, whatever you want to improve, if you measure it, it gets better. That's a principle. It applies regardless of where or who applies it. It's like the principle of gravity, right? It doesn't matter how much you believe in it or whatever. It just matters that it works across the board regardless of where it's applied or who's applying it. Principles of marketing and selling are exactly the same, right? Like, do not ever be fooled into thinking that something that doesn't make common sense to you will somehow work in your business, right? If it's true, it's always true. It's always true. It's always true. And so you need solid principles of marketing and selling. I am so grateful that my foundation of my business was in direct response copywriting, right? Like, I'm so grateful that the first couple people that I read about in business were solid in their marketing. They were proven and tested across, lots of these people aren't even alive anymore, right? But they knew what they were talking about. They used proven principles. And without that, it would have been easy for me to get off track and start to replace real numbers like money coming in, inquiries coming in with fake numbers like likes or views or whatever, right? It's easy to fall into that these days, but you're going to need solid principles of marketing and selling. And let me tell you something, if it doesn't work in an offline business, it's not going to work in an online business. It's not the way principles work. All right. So the fifth thing that you're going to need is constant injections in your soul, right? It's like you're constantly going to need somebody to inject you with some belief or nuanced advice or courage in the moment. You're going to need these things where somebody, right when you start to have that like little, what's it called? Like the little moments where you start to doubt yourself or doubt your idea or doubt your dream, like you're going to need somebody who's right there at your back that says, oh no, woman, you're not turning around now. We've come too far, right? You need these injections in your soul. You need somebody to say, no, that principle's right, but here's how you apply it in your specific industry, in your specific business. You need this injection in your soul, these little courage injections, these belief injections. We all need them on a regular basis. As an aside, people who are hanging out on the free Women Who Wow business page, I love that you're here. I love that you're here. And frankly, you get a lot just from watching my free content. You know, I have 15 years of blogging on my Women Who Wow official blog. Like there's a lot out there for you to consume, right? And you have access to the content, but you don't really have access to me, right? Like I have a habit of ushering in self-belief for women entrepreneurs, right? This is sort of what I am accused of doing all the time, is making people really believe in themselves, encouraging people to bet on themselves, right? To stand in the stead of a gap of, belief and courage and circumstances. And so if you're watching the free content and that's all you're doing, you might be connected to the content, but there's no way for me to be connected to you, if that makes sense, right? There's not an exchange. And here's the saddest part about that. Let me assure you, the saddest part of people who are resonating with me, who are in the world of Women Who Wow in some way, and they're consuming the free content and all of that, the saddest part of that is not that I didn't get paid for you to be a member. Frankly, I'm okay either way, right? The saddest part about that is that being connected to me, like you say, on the sidelines, and Brenda is a member, so she knows the difference. But like being connected to me on the sidelines, here's the cruelty of that. You are going to get small little injections. You're going to believe in your dream. You're going to feel like you can do it. You're going to constantly be attagirled. There's no way to read my content and not feel some sort of, influx of belief and courage and confidence, right? That's a natural extension of me doing the work that I do. But the cruelty is that you're going to see that it's possible. And when you hit snags, because it's always a win, not if, right? We all do. When you hit snags, you don't have that connection. I don't know that about your snags. I'm not right there when you turn around. Side note story. I had a cheering coach who was like truly badass. She was always like into us being physically fit. Cheerleaders are athletes, and we had to condition with the football team, and we had to know all the rules of football, and we had to, I'm talking like back in the day, right? You could do this like 8 and 9 hour practices, and if anybody messed up, we started over, and we're sweating, and it was like 90 degrees, and we're on the black asphalt track, and she always made us run several miles every practice. And that woman, I don't know how she did it, but every time that I was like wanting a break from running, right? Like I would look back, and she's right there. How did that happen? It's like she wasn't there, and then I'm like looking around to see if I can stop running for a minute to catch my breath, and the woman was behind me all the time. And I don't know how she did it, right? I'm sure every other cheerleader felt the exact same thing. But here's the thing. That's what I get to do for our members, right? That's what I get to do for our members. We're still under 1,000 members. It's still fairly intimate. And I get to be that person when they are considering bowing out, when they're starting to falter, when their pace starts to slow. I get to be right there with my hands up. Oh, no, woman. No. You're going all the way this time, right? And so my heartbreak when people are actively watching Women Who Wow and are actively consuming the content and responding to it, but refusing to join Women Who Wow, it's like, it's not about me getting your money. It's not that. right? I want to plug in. I need permission to partner with you. Does that make sense? I need you all in so that I can be all in. Always that face you see when you start to lose your pace, lose your footing, or run into an obstacle, because we all do it. We all do it. So message to you, join Women Who Wow, or message me about joining Women Who Wow, m.me/Women Who Wow. We're just getting ready to start offering a quarterly option to join Women Who Wow. But the 5 things that wild success requires from women entrepreneurs: belief. Not only that is possible, but it's possible for you. Action that's different from the masses. It'll be massive action on multiple fronts. Commitment to stay the course, to not be deterred, to not be distracted. Solid principles of marketing and selling, right? Because that's a part of it. And constant injections in your soul, right? To keep you going. Because this is a soul business for all of us. It doesn't matter whether we're doctors or lawyers or whatever. The more we connect to our unique way of doing things, the more successful that we're going to be. All right, guys, I appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to get to know you better. So message me about your business, about what's going on with you. If you are a Women Who Wow member, we do have open call-in hours this week. So check your Wow Weekly, get the link, and schedule some private time with me. And if you have any questions, just message me, m.me/Women Who Wow. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.